Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Happy Saturday, and thanks for joining today. Yes, finally, I know I've been gone a while, and I'm so excited that I'm here again. It took a lot to be able to to be able to put all the busy work aside and to be able to say yes. I'm starting season 3. It's summer. It's beautiful outside. I know you might be wondering, why am I in the car? Quick story, not to bore you, but the traffic in Toronto is just getting crazier and crazier every day. So I decided that I was going to go to the office so that the kids don't interfere in the video. So I thought I was going to go to the office and then do this live straight from the office. However, it's been a crazy traffic. So I had to stop at a mall and do this in the car. So bear with me, everyone. So yes, I have a guest here with me today, and I know if you are following me on all my social media, you would have been seeing this amazing individual that I've been posting. And yes, today is going to be a fun live. If you are in the tech business, or if you are looking to move into the tech way, because everybody now wants to do tech, this is the person for you. So I'm going to bring her in. Her name is Pamela, and I'm going to add her to the stream now. Hi, Pamela.
Hello, I'm trying
How
to
are you
adjust my
doing?
volume.
Yeah, I
Trying to
can hear
adjust.
you properly,
Can you hear
actually.
me well?
Yes, I can.
Awesome.
How are you
Hi,
doing
how you
today?
doing, Olufikemi? Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, I was just explaining why we are both in the car. That the
We're
traffic in
both in the
Toronto is
car.
crazy.
I can't even believe it. We're both in the car. So unexpected.
I
Traffic
know.
today is just crazy.
It is. It is. So yes, I was just telling them that I had to park at the mall and try to make myself comfortable, bring the windows down because this is going to be a fun time, and I don't want Toronto traffic to have to affect anything. So Pamela, thanks for accepting my invitation when I reached out to you to come, and you accepted. I'm so excited to have this fun life with you. So if you could just introduce yourself a little bit to our audience here today.
Hello, everyone. My name is Pamela Anoliefo, and I'm popularly known as Coach Pam on the internet. And who am I? I am an agile coach, a former Scrum Master, a release train engineer. I've had multiple roles in technology, inclusive of business analysis, product manager, project manager, and a bunch of roles, years before. Most of my experience has been in the financial services industry as well as retail and not for profit. I moved to Canada 5 years ago with my beautiful family, and I live in Hamilton, Ontario. Uh, my husband and 3 kids. I am the founder and lead trainer at Redluxe Consulting. So, what does Redluxe Consulting do? Redluxe Consulting is a training firm that helps to train people who are looking to get into tech. We get them to learn about Scrum, about Agile and product ownership so that they can make that transition into tech even if they don't have any technology background. And what is really our secret sauce? So it's not just about training and certification. I say that all of the time. We also come up with strategies that help you to become a much stronger candidate in the marketplace. That's why I'm not just a trainer, I am a coach. And so after training you, we're coaching you to become high performing, to become the best candidate in the room so that you can get a job.
Fantastic, fantastic. So, for those of you joining us, welcome, welcome. You know how we do on this show. If you're an OG, you already know to leave in the a comment. Where are you watching us from? What's your name? And if you're in Canada, tell us where you're watching from in Canada. If you're not in Canada, let us know in the comment section. That's how we mark attendance on this show. So, the title of the theme for this season is Dare to be Different, which was why it came to my mind to reach out to you. So, for those of you that don't know, myself and Pamela met last year in Mexico when she was doing her 40th birthday, which, by the way, you still have to give me the secret to you looking this young at 41 now. Because I want to be like you when I grow up. That's
Well,
fantastic. So, we met in Mexico, and I remember you were talking about tech this, tech that. And what actually drew me to you was the fact that you were so organized. Like, every single day was planned, every single event was planned, and like it was so exotic. So I was like, this lady, like I really need to know more. So that's how we became friends. Like, so now when I heard that you started your own consulting firm, Redluxe Consulting, I was like, it's just about time for you to teach people, because you are different in what you do. You're different in the way you carry yourself. So how did you think about, you know what, I have been in tech business for over 13 years. I've had these diverse experiences in, all these different aspects of tech. Now I want to give back to the society. I want people to learn more about this uh part that I am in. Like, what propelled you to start thinking that way?
Thank you. There's so many stories, and there's so many people behind the stories as well. So I've been in technology from day one. From my bachelor's, I have a bachelor's in computer engineering, and I have a master's degree in innovation and entrepreneurship. And one of the things that my parents would tell you was I was the child that knew what I wanted to do. There were no confusions. I don't know how, but I always say I try to be very self-aware about my personality and the things that I like, and so I really think about it a lot before I make a decision. So from day one, it was not medicine for me. My mom was like, "Oh, I want a medical doctor," and I was like, "This is what I want to do," and I really went for it. And I didn't come. And my parents didn't have any background in technology, but they trusted the process, right? So now let's fast
Absolutely.
forward to moving to Canada. So I've been in technology from Nigeria, moving into Canada. I was really fortunate that I moved to Canada and I started to do the job that I had the skills for. This is not the case for a lot of immigrants. And so, like, for me, it wasn't about, oh, pride or being happy. Oh, thank God I was one of the successful ones. It was also being surrounded by my friends who moved to Canada and could not get the jobs, and they were struggling because of lack of information. So, people are reaching out to me. It didn't start. I didn't even think that I was ever going to end up here. Like, it just started from someone reaching out to me to ask questions, and just me sharing my opinion, helping them in their research, encouraging them as they went through the whole process of getting jobs. And you know how it is, like, what we live in a community, and then someone's like, "Oh, I moved to Canada. I'm looking for a BA, or I'm looking for a Scrum Master." Someone goes like, "Oh, talk to Pamela." So that's how it started to happen. Like, lots of people were reaching out to me, and I found myself in that space where, you're talking to them, and then you see that eventually they get a job, and someone reaches out and says, "Hey, Pam, I got a job. Thank you for everything you've done," and all of that. It really started organically like that. I'm not like, okay, I had this friend who was her name on the call. She doesn't like me to mention, but I had this friend who for years me, you need to put a name to what you're doing. I was like, I don't know, I'm just helping people out. What do I want to do about it? I didn't believe that what I was doing was special. For me, it was just helping, right? Encouraging me to do this. The only time I tried was during the pandemic. I trained over 8 people in business analysis for free, pro bono,
Wow.
nothing. I was like, oh, we're at home, let's do this for free. And I trained them for free. And most of them, just only one person has not gotten a BA role. Most of them have gotten BA roles
Wow.
and moved on to product owners and much higher roles, right? And so I started to ask myself, why not? Because what I do, what I was doing, I was really limited in my capacity because I did not put a name to it. I didn't put a structure to it. I could only help as much, just a few people. If you reached me at the right time, if you didn't reach me at the right time and I'm busy, I can't really help you, right? But I thought to myself,
Absolutely.
the better way to make more of an impact is to put a structure to this, make it a business, make it an organization, so that way you can actually reach out to more people who might need this. And that's how I started the story around Redlocks, right? Like, it's not just about, we just want to train people or whatever. We're talking about empowerment, right? I'm literally empowering people with the skills that can make them different, with the skills that can empower their family. Because an empowered parent, an empowered mother, an empowered daughter, an empowered father, an empowered brother can really make a change in a whole generation. It's so important. So what I do is to really get our community to take spaces where they deserve to take it in technology.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think the network is a little bad because we're in the car. But one thing that I wanted to talk about again, for those of you joining us, the theme for this video right now, this live, is dare to be different. And I'm going to be bringing people that have, stepped out of the norm, to achieve the height that they are in now, so that we can all learn a thing or two. You said you moved to Canada 5 years ago, and I remember that we've had a conversation before when you said when you came to Canada, it took you maybe about 6 weeks or so to get your first job, and it was a really good job. You didn't go through, wash factory or those kind of jobs. How did you do it? Like, what propelled you to say, you know what, I'm not going to do this dirty job that everybody is doing. I'm going to get myself a white collar job, and you were able to do it within those short amount of time, like record amount of time, as a new immigrant in Canada. We want to know more about that.
The first thing, failed in life, right? There were I failed before in life. There were times that I was not operating at the level I should, right? And I lost a lot of opportunities.
Absolutely.
And when that happened, I said to myself, never again. I have to be prepared. I have to make sure that I'm the best person in the room. I have to get all the right qualifications. I have to talk to the right person. That's one. I learned from failure never to take opportunities lightly. Second, like you mentioned, you said I'm very organized. I am. Probably a lot of people are like, oh, she's here again. I'm very organized. I'm very structured. My VA has a hard time keeping up with me because I'm like, no, you can't do that in my business. Like I said about, I'm very prepared. I always try to prepare because there's this saying that says, luck happens when opportunity meets preparation, right?
Absolutely.
Sometimes we miss these great opportunities because we're not prepared. When I
Mm,
found out I was moving to Canada, I told myself, like I'm not doing badly in Nigeria, but I want to leave. I don't want to regret this move. What do I need to do to make sure that this move works for us as a family? And picture
mm.
this. I have 3 kids, all under 7. So if it was only myself, maybe there were opportunities to make mistakes and move around and try to figure it out and wing it. But I had 3 little kids that depended on their mother and my husband who never wanted to move to Canada, and I convinced him to move to Canada. So I said to myself, I have to make this work. And that meant requiring me to make
I apologize. I think the network is really
sorry,
bad.
the network is a bit
Yes,
shaky. So
yes.
I once went for a session. It's called, I think it's an orientation session for people who are moving to Canada. And something they said that they said that for you to succeed in Canada, you need to go through a process of believing that you can. There's so many strategies that they can provide for you to succeed, and if you follow most of those strategies, your chance of succeeding is higher. And I said, well, I
Okay.
don't have anything to lose. I'm just going to try it. And so I was there, like connecting with recruiters and
Okay, we lost Pamela. For those of you joining us, you know how we mark attendance on the show. Please leave your name in the comments. Where are you watching us from? Let us know as well. And I will put that on the screen so that we can get to meet you. We can mark attendance. And again, I'm going to try to see if Pamela can join us. But this is like a lot of things that people are thinking about. A lot of nowadays, people are thinking, I need to move to tech. How do I move into tech? This is one consultant company that can help you actually achieve that dream and help you, train you and also prepare you for interviews. I know for a lot of people, they'll be like, oh, I don't have an idea. Like I've never been into tech. I've never worked in tech. But if you have good backing, if you have good consultant that is working with you, they will be able to get you to where you are. It's no longer are you going to come into the country and then go through what we went through, where we had to work at of course, there's nothing wrong with you working, in a factory. There's always, not everybody gets lucky, but we have to change our thought process, which is a theme. Dare to be different. I want to be different. I want to do things differently, you know? So that's how I want our mindset to be. And that's the main purpose for this live show today. So I'm going to try again to see if I can get Pam to join us. Okay. All right. Sorry,
sorry, the
Pam.
network is really glitchy. So
Yes.
I got cut off. It just to wrap up, right?
Hmm.
Is I really look for examples of people who have been successful. I also look for examples of those who had not been successful too, because you learn from both the positives and the negatives. There's
And
always a
negative.
lesson to be learned, and so I really started to prepare. I started connecting with people back from Nigeria, and I was fortunate to connect with the recruiter at TD before I moved, and she basically said, "Hey, when you come to Canada, hit me up. I love your credentials. We're going to get you into the bank." And that was it. And so I came. I started to interview, and 6 weeks after that, I got two offers from TD, and I took one, and that was how it happened.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So now, what are the, throughout your time, since you've been in Canada, changing from roles to roles? Because what people say is that once you get one role, it's always easier to then transition to other, maybe higher roles. So for you, what are the challenges that you would say that you faced, throughout that process?
So if I want to, the challenges I faced, is it from growing from my first role to the next one, right?
Getting into the first one. I know you said you get it within 6 weeks. That's not the same for everybody, but at
Yes,
least I even with that short amount of time, there would have been some challenges. And then when you got that role, there would also be challenges as to, is this where I want to be, or do I want to aim for higher? Right. So what are
100%.
those kind of challenges?
So I think the first one is imposter syndrome. We all know that this, everybody knows that, right? Imposter
Hmm.
syndrome is, I don't think I have enough experience for the job.
Hmm.
And there were times I was stressed out, I was not sleeping, I was waking up at night. But I had to, I spoke to one of my friends, and, and she came to me and said, hey, we've really done some hard stuff back home. And I remember, and she was like, we've done some things where we didn't know what we were doing, but we kept at it. And one day we became the experts in the whole team. And she said to me, think of what you are good at and don't worry about all of the stuff you're not good at. So focus on the ones you are good at and be very good at them. And then the ones you're not good at, start to get better at them, right? So be good at what you're good at. So that was one, like coping with imposter syndrome, just knowing that you don't have to know everything. Try to use your strength where you're 100% to get yourself to be liked on the team, to get us to get small wins, and then start to improve in areas that you are not good. And that could be by connecting with people, by training, by some self-development. The second I would say is the network. Very important. Like, you are my network. I met you last year when you went with me to Mexico, and you were a friend's friend. And now you're my friend. We've done a lot of personal things together. We've done some business together. It's very, very important. Networking is very, very important, right? So that's the second thing. And the other would be to not be in your comfort zone. To not be in your comfort zone. So a lot of times we get the first job and we say, "Oh, I don't know anything else. I'm going to stay stuck in this role." But if this role is not serving your purposes, ask yourself, what next? What do I need to do to grow beyond this role? What do I need to do to go beyond this role? And that might mean, getting more certification. That might mean taking on more responsibility at work to demonstrate your ability to be a stronger leader, someone that can take on more responsibility. So that's what I would say. Just in summary, I'll just say this is: one, let go of imposter syndrome. Just focus on your strengths in the beginning and then get better at the ones that you're not good at. Two, I would say network, create a good network around you, because they're learning from them, they're letting you know where there are gaps. And secondly, they might be able to introduce you to the next opportunity. And then the final one is, don't get comfortable. Don't get comfortable at all. I think I lost Fikemi. There she is. Fikemi,
Technical issues.
it's
Yes,
your
I
turn.
am.
It's your turn. It's your turn.
My phone went, like, it overheated. I guess because of the sun outside. Oh my God. Technical difficulties
That's
today.
okay.
Okay. All right. So yeah, we're good to go. Okay, you were
Yes.
talking about those
So,
challenges.
so I wrapped. I was talking to them. So I wrapped up. I said that there are three things I can mention really from experience. Is one, is let go of imposter syndrome, right? And
Yes.
use the skills that you're very good at in the beginning to score quick wins while you're
Hmm.
getting better at the areas that you're not good at. The next is networking because it takes a village, right? Like you can't do it alone. Reach out to people who have been there before you. Reach out to people who know other people who can put you in rooms that you're not, who can talk about you in rooms that you're not, or who can show you opportunities that you're missing. And the final one is never get complacent. Don't get comfortable. Move out of your
Mm.
comfort zone. Always think, what next? What next should I be doing?
That's absolutely fantastic because
Yes. Hello, we can see Nkechi here.
I'm, it's it's a serious matter today. I apologize again. I know I've been saying that for a while. But okay, so in that case, this is where Redluxe Consulting comes in. So for people that now say, you know what, I want to tour this part. I'm now in the country, or maybe they're outside of the country, because I want to believe this is not just for Canadians. You don't just consult with Canadians. So what does Redluxe Consulting now have to offer people in this looking for a job in tech?
So for Redluxe Consulting, what do? We really train Scrum Masters or we coach Scrum Masters, right?
Hmm.
And we do that by offering two kinds of training. So we have an accelerated training that is 4 days that students can do. And what does that 4 day training do? You basically learn about Scrum and you have all the knowledge you can to go write the exam, right?
Hmm.
Now for people who want a deeper training, a training that prepares you for real world experience, we have a 6 week training where we teach you all of the theory in a class environment for 4 days, and then for a period of 1 month, you actually get to be immersed in the day-to-day life of a Scrum Master. You play the role of a Scrum Master using the tools that Scrum Master uses, right? So you get to do the sprint, the daily stand up, the sprint review, the sprint guidance, right? And that helps you to
Yes.
get the right experience that you need. All you have to do is simply reach out to me via my Instagram page, via LinkedIn, or any of my email or my website, right? And we can get you started on the journey. Our next training is coming up in June. The class is really filling up fast, and we have all sorts of people joining this training. We have people joining from people who have been out of work for a long time. We have people who are in the medical field saying we don't want to be in medicine again. We have people from all walks of life, like even people who are in tech. There have been a branch of tech and want to change. So there's no minimum criteria. There's nothing like, oh, I need to have done this kind of job to be a Scrum Master. There's no minimum criteria to this. All you just need is the desire to learn, the desire to change your life, and that's all you need.
So if I get you right, even as a lawyer, I can decide, you know what, I now want to be a scrum master. I now want to,
Trust me,
learn. I don't have to have
100%.
any prior knowledge or experience. It's that easy that Redlux Consulting will put me straight. Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
People can go to the Scrum Master, the scrum.org, right? Or Scrum Alliance and check. There's no minimum criteria.
Okay. So let's say we do the exam. You've trained us. We've done the exam. We passed. What are the other assistance that you do regarding me getting a job? Because at the end of the day, let's say I do the Scrum exam, I pass. A lot of times, people always, when you're looking online, they want a gazillion years of experience and things in tech and whatnot. How do you assist people to be able to, be confident in what they have now learned in those 6 weeks to be able to put themselves out there?
Yeah. So what we do is we offer what I call post-training support. So post-training support means like reviewing your resume, one,
Mhm.
two, interview preparation, We also have some templates and cheat sheets that we provide to you that continue to solidify the learning. You have access to the videos from the class so that you can watch them on demand for a period of 6 months as you get that. And we have a community. So I have a community on WhatsApp for now where I'm in touch with former alumni of my program, where we continue to share more knowledge, events, newsletters, blog posts that continue to keep them abreast of what's going on in the space. So we have a really robust post training support, right? Because it's not just about training. There's a whole end to end. Having the right resume, understanding how to prepare for the interview, and then being immersed in that whole agile space with knowledge that is constantly coming at you in form of videos, newsletters, and all of that. That's what we do so that they continue to solidify and cement the knowledge that they got 6 weeks ago as they are going through their job search process.
Okay. So now we've been talking about Scrum, we've been talking about Agile, we've been talking about tech. For some people, they don't even know what that is. So it makes sense to just take a little step back and kind of explain to them what a Scrum Master is or what they do.
I like that. I really like that. Thank you for bringing that up. So let's start first of all with what Scrum is. So Scrum is called a lightweight approach. I'll explain what lightweight means. It really is a lightweight approach to delivering software in more frequent, faster, and incremental releases. What does this really mean to anybody? If we think about when we want to deliver a project or a product, I'm talking about software products, we think about the product as a fully fleshed out product with all the features. But in Scrum, we realize that if you take that much time to bring out a full product, one, the market might change. Two, you're stopping your users from interacting with your product. And three, you thrive in a competition in a market where there's competition. Your competition might come in before you and take the market. So now, what Scrum does is to teach organizations to be able to break down their delivery into smaller, iterative, and incremental releases. So rather than thinking of the whole, think of what can I put into the hands of my customers today that will give them value while we're building the rest. So they give them feature one and let them know like, hey, in 2 weeks or in 1 month, you're going to get the next feature. And like that. That way you're not losing your customer. And one of the good things about Scrum is that it helps you to learn and adapt. You know, if you're not adapting, if you're not learning from a process, what are you doing? You're not growing. You can bring out someone and say, I think that's what my customers want. But what about if that's not what they want? And you spent 1 year building it, 1 year wasted. But imagine if you brought it out in 2 months. You brought out a subset of your software in 2 months. The amount of information or learnings you get from the market, trust me, you would never have got it if you wasted that much time. So Scrum also allows you to adapt faster because if you've not built everything, if you get feedback that is meaningful and makes sense, you can quickly change because you've not launched a full product. You've not spent millions of dollars on a product that might not work, right? So that's what Scrum is. Now, for Scrum to work, there's a whole framework for Scrum to work. But at its core, that framework includes roles. So for Scrum to work, there are specific roles that must exist in a team for Scrum to work. There are specific events. So we call them events, but they're actually meetings. There are specific meetings that must happen, and there are specific artifacts. So I'm calling some really buzzwords that are known in the industry, but I'll break it down. For Scrum to work, you need three key roles. The first role is a Scrum Master. Who is a Scrum Master? Your Scrum Master understands Scrum. They are the champion of Scrum. They're a servant leader that have been trained in Scrum and are able to teach the team the Scrum way framework so that they can deliver in this iterative way I've talked about, right? We call them servant leaders because though they're not doing the work, they don't mandate the team. They're not there to tell the team what to do. They're there to help the team become cross-functional and self-organizing. The next role in a Scrum team is the product owner. So think of a product owner as the CEO of the product. Remember, we talked about a product, right? And we said we don't want to spend 1 year building a product and not putting it in the hands of our customers. Decisions like that are taken by a product owner who owns the product, who understands the market, who understands the users, who understands what might be the pain points of the users, right? And they're able to help a Scrum team to prioritize the how they release these features. So what they'll say is, you know what? I've looked at all these 25 things we need to do for this product, but these are my top two, right? So their work is to prioritize and to give the team direction, say this is what we should be focused on for this short cycle, which we call product increments, right? And then the final role is the developers. So the developers are really a group of people. We call them cross-functional teams. And what are cross-functional teams? So when we talk about developers, we're not talking about one particular person or a group of people that do the same thing. They all have different roles that they play in that development team. They could be a VA, they could be a tester, they could be an actual front-end developer, a back-end developer, they could be anything, really, right? But for them, for that particular role to work, whatever it's going to take to be able to release these features as quickly as the team has decided to release it, then they need this team of people to be cross-functional, to have all of the required skills that are needed in that team to be able to deliver faster. So in a nutshell, that's what Scrum is. I don't want to go into the event because it's not a class and people can reach out to
I hope
the
people are seeing that yes, you are indeed a coach. So now, before we go into what is on everybody's mind, which is the figures that you'll be getting when you are able to secure a job, for those of you joining us, please rep yourself in the comment section. What is your name? Where are you watching us from? If you are in Canada, which city in Canada? If you're in Europe, which country in Europe? If you're in Africa, which country in Africa? We want to get to know you and mark attendance on this show. So now, going to what is on everybody's mind, including my mind, is let's say we've come to Redluxe Consulting. We've been able to get this skill. We've been able to pass the Scrum exam, and we've been able to, scale the interview. What is the range of salary that we can be hoping to get when we are able to secure a role in Scrum Master as a Scrum Master?
So numbers are really there. I always tell people that at the low range, what we've seen is $90,000. Ninety
Wow.
thousand Canadian. And I can tell you this without a doubt that that is what we've seen. And this is for less experienced Scrum Masters. Less experienced Scrum Masters would be getting about 90,000. But the salary is upwards from 100K, 120, 150, and really higher. Now, this depends on what exactly you are doing, right? When we think about Scrum, we really think only about Scrum Masters. But the higher you go in the industry, there are other roles that you can play. You can become an agile coach, you can become a release train engineer, you can become a solution train engineer, you can even become a product owner, you can become a senior scrum master, or you can become an executive, right? I saw Nkechi in the comment section. Nkechi was an executive in agile, like you could become a VP, vice president, AVP in agile. So if we're talking about Scrum Master specifically, you could get anywhere between 90 to 180. But the higher you go in the industry, the more responsibility you take. As you change roles, you get to earn higher. So there's no cap to how much you earn, really. And it all depends on what industry again, salaries are also based on industry, right? Like some industries pay higher than others, right? So what industry are you playing in, right? So the if you're looking at like higher pay industry, you also get more as a scrum master. Yep. Fikebe, are you still there? I think we lost Fikemi. So I'll just continue talking. So basically, as a scrum master, really, there's no cap to what you can earn. It really depends on your industry. It depends on your level of experience, and that's what determines it. But minimum, scrum masters are looking to start at 90K for even the less experienced ones.
Okay, I think we're going to because as I said, my phone keeps overheating. So we're gonna wrap it up
Oh,
in another 5 minutes so that we don't keep going
yeah,
offline.
keep breaking off.
So
Yeah.
yes, yeah. So you were talking about the amount that people could get. That the minimum that you've seen is like 90,000, and depending on the roles that you get as you progress in the tech industry, you could get as much as $150,000, which is a whole lot of money. You were also talking about
Yes.
Inkechi before I went off, so I think I missed that part of the discussion.
Yeah, so I was saying that, I just saw Kichi. She said, "Hey, hi," and I was like, that was even a good person to show up, right? Because, she's an executive in tech, and she was an executive, in Agile, and she was an AVP at that point in time. So when people think of Scrum, like, don't think you're going to be a Scrum Master forever. The more knowledge you get, the more responsibility you're taking in an organization. You're growing beyond that. So we're talking about specifically for the role of Scrum Master. But when we think about Agile, because let's think about it. Agile itself is what really it's an umbrella term that has different frameworks under it. We have Kanban, we have less, we have extreme programming, and Scrum is one of them, right? So Scrum Master is just one role. There are so many roles that you can be as an agile professional. So I want to cancel people to say, don't think of yourself just as a Scrum Master. That's just one aspect of it. You are an agile professional, so it means that you can play multiple roles. You can decide where you want to go to next. You can leave Scrum and continue to take on more higher roles.
That's absolutely fantastic. And yes, we talked about imposter syndrome earlier. And the truth is, for so many people, especially those of us that don't have any idea of tech, like for me, if I hear tech, my heart begins to palpitate. Like, is that a lot of computer, a lot of software development or something like? So for a lot of people, even if they end up coming through the program, they might still have that imposter syndrome. As I said, a lot of people don't have that experience. Yes, they've come to classes, they've passed the test, but then when it comes to interview, that imposter syndrome starts to kick in. So how do you recommend, like when you get a role or when you get an interview, how do you prepare for that interview to ensure that you are able to maybe impress the interviewers?
Yeah. So what I always tell my people who go to my class, they know me, like I speak really frankly, and I just really like make it relatable for them. I told them no one was born a Scrum Master. Every Scrum Master today did not know Scrum one at a point in time. The only people that can lay claim to having the full knowledge and not having imposter syndrome are the guys who came up with the Agile Manifesto, are the guys who came up with Scrum. Even they themselves, when they found the concept, they went from not knowing to knowing to defining. So why would you feel like you need to know it all? Just you need to get comfortable. I used to be a project manager, so I always thought, like, as a project manager, from day one, you don't know your project. You don't. They give you the project, you don't know it. You need to get comfortable in not knowing, but knowing that there's a process to getting better and committing to the process and being open to feedback,
I
right?
like that.
If you don't,
You have to
if
be
yeah,
comfortable
if
with not knowing.
yeah, if you
Fantastic.
don't, if like, so I give them tough love sometimes. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. You're not going to go to my client and become an awesome scrum master on day 6. I'm not going to sell that to you on the at the end of. I mean, some people feel like they are, but when I do them interview program, I'm like, you're struggling here, so I need you to shape up here. So basically, just know that it's not going to happen for you quickly, but you will get better. I can assure you that you will get better. You just need to follow the strategies. You just need to be uncomfortable. Like I said, uncomfortable in not knowing in the beginning and knowing that you will know eventually. It's a whole process, but you have to be trust the process. But you also have to be committed to the process. It means that
Mm.
you must invest in self development. You must stay connected with community. You must be networking. You must stay ahead of trends. The more you absorb this information, the more we're all sponges. The more you absorb it, the better you get. So I tell them this, like, someone trained me once upon a time. I'm training people, and I keep on telling them in my class. I see in my class executives, I see in my class future executives, future scrum masters, future leaders, future trainers. I'm pretty sure there's going to be someone from my class who's going to say, at some point I'm in the future, that will be training. I'm going to be like, wow, I had a hand in this. So trust the process.
Trust the process. That's golden. Trust the process, and know that there's a process for you to become better at what you do. Now, I remember that I saw one of your reels one time and you had said something about even your trainer is still getting training. So you were saying that don't just get comfortable in what you know, try to learn more, try to,
100%.
yeah. So in that case, would you say that it makes sense to have a mentor in this area, or maybe mentors? Like, what is the importance of that in tech?
It's very important because if you stay in your shell, you're not going to have information, right? We're not what meant to what community people, right? Whatever human beings live in community. There's a reason why. Today we brush our teeth automatically. There was a time when brushing our teeth was a big problem. Let's not lie.
Yeah,
Every child was taught to brush their teeth by an older person. Our parents didn't leave it up to us to figure it out. At the end of the day, we may have figured it out, though, but it would have taken us a long time to figure out people brush their teeth. But someone had to set the example, right? So I always tell people, find yourself a mentor. Find someone who's doing something that you like. Find someone that um their values resonate with you. Reach out to them, but also be open that they might not have the time to mentor you. Just realize that nobody owes you anything. So that people are not entitled. I keep on hearing things like Nigerians who like to help other people. I find that that's an entitlement mentality on the part of the person who reached out and didn't get help. Nobody owes you anything. That person might be busy, might have 20 people, 100 people in their DMs, and they can't answer you and they can't answer everybody, unfortunately.
true.
So, and there might be people who truly don't help. But even at that, we should not make a blanket statement and realize that nobody owes you anything. If you are approachable, you find a mentor. I always said I don't want to tell stories. I had a particular person I've called on this show. I know how I got to her. My first time I sent her two messages, she didn't answer. But I said I need to meet her, and I sent her the right message, and I can tell you I got a response in hours, not days. So being the kind of person that people can mentor, it's about energy. I also tell people in my class, right? You don't give up the wrong energy and you expect somebody. We all feed off energy. Be teachable, be approachable, right? And finally, what I always try to tell people, apart from that, is that we learn from our mentees, right? I can't tell you how many times I've learned new things from mentees where they're like, Pam, I like what you're doing in your class, but I think you should do this. And there are people that have been in my class, they're like, this is my feedback. I think you should do this. I think as a student, this is what I want to see. And I'm learning from them. And beyond that, I'm also learning beyond even just like in Agile. I'm learning things from them. I'm learning some new tools that I might not be privy to, right? So it's also both ways, right? Like you learn from your mentor, but also as a mentor, I learn from people that I mentee.
I know that I've brought a couple of mentors on this show, it makes sense to have a symbiotic relationship and not a parasitic relationship where you just want to take, you just want to take, you just want to take. What are you doing in return for that mentor? And I remember I posted something on one of my a snippet of my show where Dr. Adibu I brought on the show had said something about you have to be able to do something to be able to turn your mentors into sponsors. And it is true because not every time people would call me and say, okay, some people are so rude as well in approaching you. They might send you a message on LinkedIn or on any other social media, and their method of approach, you don't even want to speak to them.
Oh, I
Some
get
people
a
won't
lot of
even
that.
say, hi, how are you doing, or whatnot. They just go straight to whatever they have to say, and you're expecting a response, right? So sometimes too, we should also think about our own approach to see, and truly, as you said, that's mentality that somebody owes you something. Nobody owes you anything. If you are the one that needs something, so you have to keep at it. You have to
Uh,
find a way to
Persistence, yeah,
connect.
for sure, for sure. So I just want to
Persistence.
correct this because moving to Canada, I've gotten a lot of help from Nigerians. Most of my friends are Nigerians. Of course, I've gotten sponsors from outside of the organization, but a lot of people in my training are Nigerians. So I don't know where I'm not sure where that that thing when they say Nigerians don't help. No, I actually talk to other communities, and what I hear, I'm like, no. In Nigeria, they will challenge you. They're like, see you, you're earning this amount of money when you can be earning this. They actually open. So again, maybe you should choose your circle. I always tell people, maybe it's the wrong circle. Maybe
Absolutely.
that circle needs to be changed.
Absolutely. Because you are only as big as your environment or as your community.
I mean, look
Because
at you now. I'm on your show, right? And I'm on
mhm,
here for free
mhm,
because I met you. But I'm pretty sure if I did not know you and I reach out to you, I'm gonna have to pay for this airtime because this is premium real estate, right?
mhm,
This is you're offering a service, and you're good at what you do, right? But because I have a relationship with you and the relationship has developed well, I can be with you on such a good show, right? So I just tell people like make sure that you are creating, make sure you're having the right conversations. People
absolutely.
want to help. I started off by doing this for free. I still do it for free sometimes. I started by doing it for free. But again, it was very important that I was doing it for the person that had the right attitude.
Exactly. And whatever you pay for, what I have realized is whatever you pay for,
You
also you
appreciate.
would be more enthusiastic about it. Let me just
Yeah.
give a practical example. Sometimes because in my law office I would do free consultation for people, right? Free consultation maybe regarding immigration and whatnot. They will take the consultation and they will just take it with levity. That is a value of maybe $300 to $500 that I've just given you free of charge that I would have charged somebody else, right? They just take it with levity, like they don't see as if you did anything. But I realized that as soon as I stopped doing free consultation, everybody became serious because if you had already paid me between $300 to $500 for a consultation, you will take it seriously. Everything before I send you a message, you are already responding. Whereas before I'll be the one sending you email. You have not responded to the documents I asked you for. So sometimes when you put money on something, you will understand the value and you'll be more serious about,
Yeah,
about
I'm
it.
so happy we're having this conversation about services and paying for what 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 you need, right? Because you're right. I've trained people for free and I can tell you there are very few people that give free stuff that ever took it seriously. And again, I'll tell you, conversation I had with someone called me recently and said that can you give me a Scrum Master resume? And I was like, I was confused. And I said, sorry. It was like, oh, I watched you somewhere. You were on someone's show. I'm just reaching out. I was like, I don't have any free resumes lying around. What do you really need? And he said to me, I went for training. I don't know how many years ago, how long ago. Maybe it was some months back or a year, but it was a long time. They had done training. I was like, so how is your job search going? It was like, oh, he's not had any interviews. And I was like, and I always like to ask deep questions. I was like, okay, is there like, do you know why? Like, why I'm not getting interviews? It was like, I think it's my resume. I think it's because I did it myself. And I was like, okay. I was like, we actually review resumes, even though I don't. Resume review is so stressful. I can tell you, it is really very stressful. Every resume review is different. It's not like when you're training the same thing. Every resume review is customized and personalized. And I said, I can review your resume and your LinkedIn and give actionable feedback. And they were not willing to pay. And so I was like, does this person like what does this person really want to make a change? Do they really want to make a change and get the career that they want? A career that's going to give them tens of thousands of dollars, and you're not going to pay a fee for a professional to review your resume and give you actionable feedback. But you called the person and spent about 15, 20 minutes of their time, and you have admitted to yourself that you're not getting the job because you did your resume yourself. So it's almost like, okay, like, and I'm like, sorry, I don't have any free resumes. I don't have any free resumes I give out. Like something like there's nothing like that. Like there's no, hey, take this resume and go. Like, what am I doing? Giving you a resume that is not yours? I'm not that kind of person, right?
Eh,
I look at your resume, I look at your experience, and I'll make sure that your resume represents your Scrum experience. We'll look for things you've done in your past that we can make transferable. Because a Scrum Master, a leader, as long as you've been leading, we can help you. By the time I talk to you, we even be able to create a story because we don't tell good stories as Africans. We
mhm,
just did something, like, oh, I'm just good at doing something. But if you phrased it well, you find that man, it's about how you present what you did. You did
yeah.
it, but you're not presenting
You
yourself
don't know
well.
how to.
What we're doing is looking at your resume, all of the stuff you've done over the years, and how we present it in a way where you've been agile for a very long time.
Mhm.
You've just been agile for a while, who knows? But you're not doing sprint planning, no retrospective, but we can present it in a way where what you've done is relatable, transferable to where you want to get to. So when someone wants to, get your resume prepared, it's not because they want money from you. It's because they want you to get the best. You're paid for a service, and it is my duty as a professional, because I'm an agile coach. I've done agile coaching through the International Coaching Federation. So there's a high standard that I have to uphold as someone who's gone
Absolutely.
through that coaching and training. I'm a professional. I'm not here to give you what you don't deserve. I'm going to make sure that we coach you to give you exactly what it is that makes the most sense for you, because your story is different from every other person's story.
Absolutely. And now talking about that, because they say put your mouth where your money is, right? And which is also goes down to the theme, dare to be different. Like, what are you daring to do to be different, to thrive more than any other person in your group, in your vicinity? Because if everybody is just, lying fallow, being complicit about what they do, what are you doing by yourself to, stand out? And that is very important. So does it include you going back to school? Fine, do that. Does it include you making research, you know, changing your environment, looking for mentors? Do that. Like, dare to do that. Does it involve you, paying for services out of your pocket? Do that. So for you, what does that theme mean? Like, dare to be different, either in your life or in any other person like watching us today. What does that mean to you?
Let me think. There's so many examples. Let me think. Um, I'll say the first for me is really starting this business, right? For a long time, I put on the back burner. I didn't think I could do it. My kids were young. It was very important for me to be there for them in their formative years. They're still young, but they're a bit more independent. So, not seeing me for a few hours doesn't matter to them. They don't even have my time self anymore. So I said, it's time for me to do this. And I went out there and I did it. So that's really there to be different, right? Starting a
Absolutely.
business myself in a space that, I'll be honest, there's lots of people that are training.
True.
So I cannot do anything unique. The only thing I'm doing unique, and I'll tell you, is that I've added practicals. Like, we're going to give you practical training. We're not just going to teach you in the classroom and go. So where we're being different, we're going to give you practical training. You're going to be a Scrum Master. We're going to challenge you, right? And so I'm coming out in an industry that is kind of saturated, but I'm also coming up with my own secret sauce and trying to create my brand in a different way. Say, this is what we're about. This is what we're about. We're not just about training. I always tell people, find yourself a trainer who's just not just a trainer, who is a coach, who is a strategist. That's what I am. Like, my strategies are crazy. I don't want to say, like, they know I have a challenge that is going to start next week in my post training support. The challenge for them is, for the next 1 month, every week I want you to reach out to a new Scrum Master, book a coffee chat, have a conversation. Well, I'm trying to force them out of their comfort zone to keep on networking. Previously, I challenged them. They had to do elevator pitches. They had to reach out 20 recruiters, because it's not about me training you and going, but really coming and telling them these are the strategies I've used, right? So that's one, like being that, and then continuing to be a leader in technology, right? I tell people, like, I've been in the agile profession for a long while, but anybody that knows me is that I change a lot. Like, there might be a version of Coach Pam that in 5 years might be different from this version. I always look at where are the trends, where's technology growing. I always believe in future proofing a career, and who knows what I might be doing in 5 years. There's still going to be Redluxe for sure training. I can tell you that by God's grace, but I'm always going to continue to stay as a tech leader, but looking for more opportunities that take me into the future. Like, where is the future of tech going to? I'm making sure that my voice is heard there, and that I'm leading from the front, and I'm being a good example to women out there. That's how I really want to dare to be different, so that
That's
people can look
fantastic.
up to me and say, even though I'm an immigrant, there's no rooftops.
There's no
I'm going
ceiling. Break the
yeah,
break the
I'm going
glass ceiling.
I'm going to break it It's never going to be there to be different. I know there's this joke that my nephews call me the supermodel model coach. So, this is me, Pam. I'm a techie, but I can tell you every time I used to walk into my tech interviews, they used to tell me, "Are you sure you're not going to be market?" And I said, "No, I'm just learning. And you can be fashionable, kick ass fashionable, and be killing it in tech. Tech does not mean you're wearing jeans, t-shirts, no makeup on. No, you can be fashionable, you can be pretty, and be incredibly smart. So that's why I dare to be different. I'm not fitting into the mold of what a tech leader should look like. There's nothing like that in my opinion. It's what's up here, and it's what comes out of my mouth that's most important, not how I
Absolutely.
look.
That's awesome. So now, out of everything that we've said today, if there was one thing that you don't want anybody to forget, you want them to hold it in their left hand and don't eat with it, as Yorubas will say, what would it be? The
Stop
very
giving
simple thing.
excuses. Stop giving excuses. What I want you to ask yourself today is look at where you are. How long have you been in that space? Does it look good? If it looks good, you're doing awesome, sweetie. And I'll encourage you, keep pushing forward. But if it does not look good, you've been giving excuses for years, you're still stuck. You are not a tree. You're not a tree. Move. It's almost 6 years, sorry, not 6 years, 6 months into 2023. Stop giving excuses. Go out there and get exactly what you desire, what you desire. There's nothing that can stop you from being who you are. There's so much abundance in the world, so much abundance, so much money to be made, so much impact to be made. Let's even leave money. So much impact to be made. Whatever is that impact, whatever it is that you seek, whatever truth that you seek, don't think about what anybody is thinking about. Go there and be who you are, unapologetically you. You know what? At the point, people are going to be looking at you as an example.
True.
Don't worry about what people are going to say. I mean, are you buying anything with their opinions? Get up from your comfort zone. Go out there, challenge yourself. Do something different. Put yourself out there. I always tell people I was a shy kid. Can you believe that?
I can't.
I was. My mom would tell you. I was a shy kid, but I was not shy inside. Like I was a shy kid who internally wanted to make impact, and I had to overcome my shyness to become who I am. That I'm so comfortable with talking. Like I can talk. Call me up anytime. I'm going to be talking. I was a shy kid, and so if the shy kid could become this, trust me, you can do anything.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And for everybody, once again, thank you for joining and rep your name in the comment section. Where are you watching us from? We're about to round up. And if you want to know more about Pamela, if you check the description, you will see what she does, who she is. However, Pamela, if you can just tell us where they can get in touch with you on social media, email, those kind of information, that would be awesome before we round up.
Thank you. So the best way to stay in touch with us is first of all at our website. We have a really great website. My team has done a great job. Like that website, we put our heart and soul into it, right? www.redluxe. So Redluxe is REDLUXE Consulting. So R for rabbit, E for elephant, D for dog, L for lion, U for umbrella, X for xylophone, E for egg, consulting.com. Sign up for our newsletters or contact us. You can reach out to me by email at info@Redluxe Consulting. You can also find us on Instagram at Redluxe Consulting, on Facebook at Redluxe Consulting, and on LinkedIn set by Redluxe Consulting. So all the same names.
So all
Really,
the
really
platforms.
available. Yeah, all platforms.
Absolutely. This has been a fantastic session, even though Toronto traffic wanted to wanted to make
God,
us not
God.
have this session, as well as tech issues. It's amazing that we're talking about tech, and tech keeps messing me up today.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
so
I
funny.
mean, I was where I was going to a destination and I was supposed to be there
Mhm.
at 1:05 and the traffic just kept on increasing. So I was like, oh my God, I'm going to do this call from my car. But thankfully, thankfully I was
I'm
able
also
to,
in the same shoe.
and thankfully I was not driving. My husband was driving. So Otherwise, if I was driving, I'd have had to park.
Yeah, just like I did. I had to park, and that's why my phone keeps getting overheated because I had to hang it on the windshield, and the sun directly was just hitting on it. So I really appreciate you coming today, and I've learned a lot, especially about tech. Maybe I'll start thinking about adding tech to my business as well. It was a very provoking session, and those of you that came late, it's okay. This live show is recorded, so you can click on the link and you can watch it as many times as possible. And that will be it from us today. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody.